commence today's event on a spiritual and a harmonious note, let us all stand for the Philos anthem.
As PHILOMENA'S we sing, PHILOMENA'S we are. As PHILOMENA'S we sing, PHILOMENA'S we are. Hailing from within and countries afar. As PHILOMENA'S we stand, our hearts are high with pride. As PHILOMENA'S we sing, as PHILOMENA'S we sing. Abundantly, blessed by the Almighty God above, having us in science here, spreading knowledge with love, the ocean of wisdom, letting tribute breeze, round the world, deep rooted with ethics, our bodies and firm, deep rooted with ethics, our bodies and firm. Just too near, classroom was real not and far, but to live a mountain to benefit all mankind. We do learn for joy, we learn for life. All that comes on the way to bring the smile on someone's face each and every day. As PHILOMENA'S we sing, as PHILOMENA'S we sing.
I request Thomas Gunashilan sir, IQAC coordinator, to escort the dignitaries to the dais. A very good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to each one of you. Today we come together at St. Philomena's College to celebrate on an occasion of great importance, World Health Day. Health is not just the absence of illness, but a state of complete physical, mental and social well-being. And what better way to honor this day than being discussing an aspect of life that affects all of us, the work-life balance. This event is organized by the IQAC to emphasize the need to strike a perfect balance between our professional and personal lives. It is said that balance is not something you find, it's something you create. And today's session aims to equip us with insights on how to create that balance. We begin today's program with a symbolic gesture, watering the sapling, which represents growth, balance and sustainability, much like the theme of our discussion today. I invite our esteemed dignitaries to come forward and be a part of this inaugural act. consume for the gesture of nurturing growth and well-being. It is indeed a pleasure to have with us gathering of esteemed academicians and professionals who have dedicated their lives to education and service. I take immense pride in welcoming our Reverend Dr. Lourdes Prasad Joseph, Rector of St. Philomena's College. Welcome you, Father. Reverend Father Gnana Prakasam, Campus Administrator. Welcome you, Father. A hearty welcome to our Principal, Dr. Ravi J.D. Saldana, whose vision and leadership continue to inspire us. Welcome you, sir. I also extend a warmest welcome to Ronald Prakash Kutina, Vice Principal, Administration, Dr. Noor Mubashir CA, PG Coordinator. Welcome you, ma'am. A special and warm welcome to our guest speaker, Mrs. Sadhana A Pote K.A.S, Joint Director, ATI, Mysore, whose presence here today promises an enlightening session ahead. Welcome you, ma'am. I also welcome Dr. Sandhya Rani, Senior Faculty, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Center of Social Justice and Equality, ATI, Mysore. Welcome you, ma'am. I also welcome Thomas Gunashilan sir, IQAC Coordinator, for organizing this insightful event and ensuring its success. Welcome you, sir. A warm welcome to all the teaching fraternity. Welcome you all. Mrs. Sadhana A Pote, a distinguished officer of Karnataka Administrative Service and currently serves as a Joint Director of ATI, Mysore. With vast experience in administration, training and human resource development, she has been a guiding force in equipping individuals with essential skills for effective work-life management. I now invite Sister Vimal Angelin to introduce the guest of the day.
A pleasant noon to all gathered. I, Sister Angeline, Department of English UG, take this privilege to introduce Srimati Sadhana Ashok Pote. In her earlier career, Srimati Sadhana Ashok Pote K.A.S in 1997 batch has pursued multiple degrees in her career like MSc Zoology, MA in Hindi, MBA in Human Resources, LLB. Her interest in knowledge gaining is still persistent as she is currently pursuing PhD in Management, Christ University, Bangalore. In her teaching experience, before entering into administration, she has an experience in teaching field too under various disciplines such as lecturer in zoology, KRCRS Kittur Belgaum, NCC ANO Kittur, yoga instructor, mushroom cultivation expert, karate practitioner, human resource trainer, and also a good Kathak dancer. She also held various positions in the administration like Employment Officer, Bijapur, 1997 to 203, Assistant Director, Belagavi, Principal, DTI, Belagavi, In Charge Deputy Chief, UIEGB, Joint Director, Commissionerate of Industrial Training and Employment, Bangalore. She has received various recognitions and awards like National Level Best Debater in 1987, Best Girl of RLS College 1989 to 1990, Best Lecturer Award in 1995, Yoga Teacher Award in 1996, Best NCC Officer in 1996, Best Officer Award in 1999, Ati Uttama Nagarika Sevi Prashasti in 2010, Rashtriya Shikshaka Bhushan National Award 2013, National Vocational Guidance Excellence Award in 2014, Akshari Award 2015, Women Achiever Award in 2023, GCU Bangalore. She has even initiated and contributed her resources to organize state-level job melas, district job fairs and walk-in interviews for private sector vacancies, facilitated campus recruitment drives for banks, KPTCL and corporate sector jobs, conducted career guidance, counseling and mapping programs for over 6 to 8,000 students through 10,000 plus sessions across high schools, PU colleges, degree colleges and universities. Initiated study circle programs in North Karnataka for IAS, IPS, IFS, KS and other competitive exam coaching. Delivered 150 plus lectures on human rights. She is also a state resource person on women empowerment. She has even published books, namely Housekeeping and Communication Skills Training 2010 and Generic Reading Material and Case Studies 2010, developed and released CDs on various soft skill training modules. She has even acted in 2 documentary films, Sangati and Konea Putta. Currently, she is the Joint Director, ATI, Mysore. Dear ma'am, on behalf of all of us gathered here, I take this opportunity to welcome you once again and I call on you for a session. Over to you.
Before you could take over, ma'am, I request our rector to address the gathering.
The speaker and the resource person of the day, Ma'am Sadhana, all the dignitaries on the dais and my dear teaching fraternity. I think today we have a very resourceful person in the person of Sadhana. We have heard about her. I think all her achievements fits into this name, really Sadhana. A multifaceted personality. She is master in many things and we are really privileged to have her with us. Ma'am, without taking much time, I'm really happy that you are with us to address our staff, especially to give some skills with regard to how they can balance their work and life. Some of our staff sometimes feel that they are overburdened. At the same time, they forget their health. I think this session will be very, very useful for all of us, including me. Over to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, Father, for giving a good kickstart for the program. I request ma'am to take over.
The entire team of dignitaries on the dais and the esteemed team of teaching faculty of this prestigious institute. At the outset, I convey my wishes on this beautiful eve that go to celebrate World Health Day. Well, already disclosed, the topic of today's discussion is work-life balance. Well, this topic gets into various dimensions and it is very essential for us to understand, or else the well-being of an individual is at doubt. So, as most of us have felt that empowerment will lead to the real happiness, catering to all the dimensions of empowerment, whether it is social, whether it is economical, whether it is, professional. So it has become mandatory that we adhere to compulsory education. We are given the world of tough competition. Each one of us would love to excel and create a name for ourselves. Prove that we beautifully soar high into our visions and dreams. We prove ourselves. Matching all this, a race that we run without realizing that there are few inevitable entities that are to be balanced and focused, or else the core contentment, satisfaction, joy, and the feeling of meaningfulness in life would disappear. That's what is happening with all of us. So that's how we are here to talk on work-life balance. It doesn't matter whether my workplace is very next to my house. Still, we feel there is a need to balance it. It doesn't matter whether I am comfortably positioned in my workplace and equally comfortable with my family life, yet I don't know why I need to balance. And these balancing kind of concepts have gone more serious when we discuss more on these particular subjects, because we find, yes, whatever is happening, whatever is being told to us is a fact. And the fact is, we are not able to focus on our well-being. That's very, very important. Now let me just come to the first point. How do we realize and then analyze and then find solutions so that we balance, because both the work and the rest part of the life, both are equal to us, both are inevitable, and we really got to take care of them so that our health, our well-being is really taken care of. The first point I would like to say, in today's present scenario, all of us, we are leading a life that is not focused on what do I need, what are my limitations, what is my capacity, what are my limits. But believe me, we are leading a life for somebody else. If he says like that, if this is to be answered, what do I tell him? What do I answer? What do I? So the life is entirely a show-off process for somebody else than looking into our own selves and discovering what do I need. Am I right? We are just running a race of achievements. Find a heavy pour down. There is huge rain, and by the time I complete my session, when I walk out, I find lots of kitchen out, and when I place my leg to cross that particular muddy area and go that side, say by chance I slip and I fall down. The moment I fall down, I don't care more for how much of hurt I have got. To what extent am I hurt? But the first thing, knowingly, unknowingly, is, has somebody seen me falling? This is the first thing that troubles you. The moment you find that nobody has, seen you or watched you, the first thing is you there and then get up and stand as if nothing has happened to you. There's just one sample, and this is repeating again and again with each and everything that happens in your life. And your life becomes a series of tasks, which in turn is to prove from others rather than what really is required for you and for your family. Second important point that we watch. We are lacking confidence irrespective of whatever is the achievement made by us. And in today's present context, with so many parameters coming into our day-to-day life and workplace, that we want to prove that we are the best, and we take all the strategic plannings, whether right or wrong, to prove that we are the best. And this is a course where we have shortfalls. In fact, somewhere I was reading in one of the scientific journal, whatever is a claim made by a man, still he suffers from complexities, which in turn has grown by leaps and bounds in the present day scenario. The complexities on extreme ends, either you suffer from inferiority complex or you suffer from superiority complex. That is where it goes very difficult for you to manage the life. You fail to show that you owe the skills which can be used to balance the work life. For example, I, being a woman, when I have such high position, now balancing it in my life is a great asset. The whole day I sit in the office in the position of the head for the entire training center, wherein I got to command the discipline, and it cannot be, demanded. You got to be the role model there, so that people from deep within feel that whatever I say is right and they follow me. That kind of disciplined act when I perform in my campus, I am shrewd, I am straightforward, I am commanding, I am a bit curt, I have all the ways to take action. And suddenly when I go home, if I cannot manage transforming myself from that bossy kind of personality to a family member, whatever am I, my work and life balances are seen getting distorted. We don't understand the depth of damage that if I do not understand those minute parameters based on which the balance actually happens, I will be squarely blamed for damaging that balance, knowingly, unknowingly. Because people do not understand your professionalism, those who are near and dear to you. They want you in those positions of, maybe you're a husband, you're a son, you're a father, you're an uncle, you're a brother. And these kind of relations in life, as a neighbor, as a member in the society,
So, the expectation there is totally different from what is expected out of you in your professional life. So, you got to totally transform. There has to be a transition, that too dramatic, but still natural. There cannot be a show off to your relations. And that's where today we find that people are carrying their office to home, or when they come to office, they carry home with them. And they feel they can balance through these kind of things. We got to draw strict lines between your office, your workplace, and your life. You got to understand the importance of set of values in your personality. And these values, if I'm not wrong, they are all those values that go to create a balanced personality who can tame the requirements expected out of him in both the places. I believe the values are all the set of social values, all the set of moral values, all the set of human values, all the set of family values, all the set of professional values, at the same time, all the set of ethical values that really go to create that kind of balance in work and family. So, we got to understand, how do we understand that which are those few important vital aspects of my day-to-day life that really need to be understood and placed before I begin my day. So we need to plan it properly. When we are planning, remember one thing, you got to give time. In fact, invest time. As it is said, there is no shortcut way to success. Similarly, when it comes to work and life balance, there is no shortcut way. First of all, you got to understand, list out those important aspects which in turn are to be focused and balanced. And in fact, this requires lots of time management, lots of stress management, lots of proficiency management, lots of emotional management, lots of kind of status management. So this management, the management itself is the way of work-life balance. We must be good managers. And when it comes to management, for some, it is blessed as a genetic constitution. The only reason why I feel it is blessed as a genetic constitution is not that all of us are not blessed. We all are blessed. Only thing is, few of them have stayed closer to their values, to their inborn qualities. Some of them have, changed. They have mended themselves. And they have become what is needed by the society, what is needed by the professional field. And they have gone changed to an extent that it goes very difficult to come back to those realities of the life. That's how my first point now I start with different parameters. One is, to begin with, we need to have the balance because we got to enjoy both of these aspects, work and family, both have to be taken hand in hand because it is this balanced life that can really bring satisfaction to you, success to you, meaning to you. So if that's the case, the first point is, are we doing our day-to-day activities out of some planning, out of some focus, out of some motto, out of some result, or we are just passing our time? We do it for the sake of doing. If that's the case, let me just tell you, most of our work and family life balance is ruined. Because I just do it for the sake of doing. Even today's session, where somebody has come to talk to you, this is not the end, an hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes, 2 hour, whatever is the session, duration, but ultimately it should be result yielding to all of us. Most of us fail to receive a meaningful outcome, result out of our activities just because we do it for the sake of doing. We are not serious. Why, how, when, where. That is where we try to fail giving a meaningful touch to our proficiency. And when I say proficiency, it does not mean only my professional life, proficiency to my social and life too. If we are not meaningful, if we just do for the sake of doing, each one of us, if we do not enjoy what is given to us, if we do not realize why are we doing, to whom are we answerable, what will be the outcome of this, I think your professional life would be miserable, and the consequences of that kind of life at workplace would create a miserable scenario in your proper life too. Because ultimately life is life, whether it is the work life or family life, it in turn reflects, it is interdependent. It is beautifully balanced, and if the balance misses, then we suffer at both the ends. I just remember one particular joke which clearly states, we got to be meaningful in whatever we do. Then only we can derive happiness, fruitfulness out of whatever act we perform wherever we are, and it is this source of happiness that can further mold my personality in gainful acts further that creates a chain reaction. Or else you are fed up of work life and you try to dump the entire frustration in family, and you get frustrated in the family and again you take it back to your work. This is what is happening. Why? Because we are not placing ourselves with our real-time focus on whatever we do, which can bring that kind of satisfaction, gratification and joy. Let me just remind you, things are inevitable. You have chosen to be like that, and once you are there, ultimately extracting maximum benefit and happiness of whatever you have chosen is what is there in your hand, and that can happen only when you are meaningfully placing yourself there. Or else it would be just like, a Sikh Sardarji who gets wild on the reservation that he gets in the last bogie of a train. Because of that reservation in the last bogie, olden days there were no mineral water for sale, so every time he feels like drinking water, summer season, he had only two options. Either if he had his water bottle with him, he could quench his thirst, or he had to get down from the last bogie of the train, run, stand in the long queue of the drinking water, wait for his chance, gets a chance, he drinks the water, or else just because it is the last bogie of the train whistles and he has to run back without drinking water, or else he would miss the train. Repeatedly this happens, and ultimately when he reaches his destination, Delhi station, he is so furious on the last bogie of the train. So he goes to the station master and says, "Sir, give me a paper and a pen, I want to lodge a complaint." He says, "Why are you so wild? Just be seated, please take a chair." No, give me a paper and a pen. Looking at his temper, he says, "Okay, you write whatever you want." He hands over a paper and a pen to him, and this person, so wild on the last bogie of a train, lodges his complaint not in one but 2 points. And the 2 points of the complaint are, number one, there should not be a last bogie for a train. Okay? The first point of his complaint is there should not be a last bogie for a train. The second one is, even if it is there, care should be taken to see that it is placed first. So, our entire life has to have some meaning. It shouldn't be doing your job just because you have to do it. Cribbling over few parameters that in turn irk us. And those parameters would be, maybe I'm not getting the salary package that I'm supposed to get. I'm not happy with the kind of designation I have got. I'm fed up that whatever is my timing, something extra is expected out of me. See, let me just tell you one thing. When you choose something for yourself, I think commitment towards that will give you more happiness than just passing the time, doing for the sake of doing, or keep on cribbing. Because you have no way. You keep cribbing, there is no solution. That's how we all are here in our systems. So best is, what best can we do out of our day-to-day routine? The second point is, most of us don't realize that this small kind of mood off, this small kind of dissatisfactions, this small kind of competitions that we are into materialistic world, the small kind of feelings that we want to prove to the society, or the small dimensions of social status quo, that this should be, this should not be, all this kind of unwanted parameters of your life in which you are building up your style is taking away your health. Let me just tell you, so many women faculties are here. Today we are talking about well-being. Well-being means it is total well-being of a life, which includes your professional well-being, your family well-being, your social well-being, your mental well-being, your psychological well-being, your economic well-being, all those parameters of well-being. But then, it all starts with, first thing is physical health, physical well-being. And this physical well-being is totally based on your day-to-day food, nutrition, lifestyle, and the diet that we in turn consume. Am I right? Many of you are women. Now when I talk on these, let me just tell you, there is something which is more finer than that. We feel that our diet should be balanced and we work hard, we earn so much, and we try to have all those nutritional inputs so that my diet is really good. But we tend to forget that people who are day-to-day begging and having, leading their life, people who are poor, below the poverty line, who do not believe in wasting the food, but they eat the stale food available given by somebody, but the question mark is, they are better, they are healthier than us. Then what goes to create that kind of well-being? Is it not the other kind of well-being, that is the psychological input, the social well-being, the mental well-being? And that is how it really creates an impact on our balanced life. For example, when I used to talk about well-being of a woman, I used to think, I keep on preaching so much. But then when it comes to me, my individual life, in my house, I have my father-in-law, my mother-in-law, my husband, my children, my in-laws. So the duty of a Hindu Brahmin family is, first I cook, then I serve everyone one by one, and when all have their food, then I sit to have my food. Right? So one day I felt, ಏನು ಉಪಯೋಗದ್ರೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ನಾವು ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬೋಧನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆದರೆ ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೆ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನೇ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Right? Because it was taught to us. It was observed by me. It was seen that my grandmother was doing, my mother was doing, and I felt happy doing it. But then when rationalization came, I thought, no. When I preach, I should practice. So today, the first 2 rotis, ನಾನು 2 ಚಪಾತಿ ಮಾಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಗ್ಯಾಸನ್ನು ಸ್ಟವನ್ನು ಆಫ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಮೊದಲು ನಾನು 2 ಬಿಸಿ ಬಿಸಿ ಚಪಾತಿ ತಿಂದು then I'll start preparing and serving others, right? Most of us feel that. Work-life balance. Even if you're fed up, you had such a drastic day, but going back home, primarily taking care of our family is a woman, right? That's what I say. Ultimately, when we think of woman well-being, it is her happiness. And what she finds happiness is the core platform, fundamental for it, based on which you can build up her balance. Or else, whatever you give her, she still would be imbalanced. That is what I'm trying to give you this illustration. That day I made 2 rotis, I had it first and then I served everybody. After that, my mother-in-law, very caring. She comes to, but I didn't tell anyone that I had 2 rotis and then I served them. I didn't have the guts. So after everybody's food was over, my mother-in-law comes back and tells, Bada, ಎಲ್ಲರದು ಊಟ ಆತು, ಮಸ್ತ್ ರುಚಿ ರುಚಿ ಅಡುಗೆಯಾಗಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಬಡಿಸಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರ, ಬಾಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ನಿನಗೆ ಬಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ, ಬಾವನ ಬಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. I was feeling so bad that I had lied. I kept something without telling them. I already had 2 chapatis. And then the way she was caring, somewhere it hurt me. The whole night I could not sleep. And I realized it was better that I served them till the last. And then I had my food at the end. That would be the source of my happiness, my motivation, my well-being. Right? So, it's very difficult to analyze an Indian lifestyle as far as life and work balance is concerned. Most of us in present day, when husband and wife are working together, that is where most of the imbalances happen. The moment husband finds a wife dressing very well, ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ನನ್ನ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ತಯಾರಾಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕತ್ತಾಳಕಿ? Let me just talk in Kannada because I'm from Administrative Training Institute and you will enjoy my Uttar Kannada, So, now, when it comes to equality, most of us, we are learned. We know what are the criteria where a woman can feel empowered. So much of equality given to us, both by norms and by rules. We have those equality parameters. But again, most of you are a woman, so I would like to focus on those things. Maybe men also learn few things from out of it. Now, when it comes to equality, again, it's a work-life balance. And we educated women, having got educated, having got placed well in the society, what is happening is we are losing our mental peace. We are overburdened. We still have to essentially take up the primary responsibilities of a family, and along with that we got to take this secondary responsibilities also. So at times when I sit and pause, ನಾನು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಕಲ್ತೀನಲ್ರಿ, ನಾನು ಸಮನಾದ ಹುದ್ದೆಗೆ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, so why can I not fight for my equality with my husband, right? So I can say to my husband, ನೋಡ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ, ನಾನು ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, work-life balance, this is what is the need of the hour, or else we will be sick, our well-being would be of great hamper. So we got to understand this. So if that's the case, let us try to balance. So what do? I will brew, ನಾನು ಅಡಿಗೆ ಮನೆ ಕಸ ಹುಡುಕ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಪಡಿಸಲಿ ಕಸ ಹುಡುಗ್ರಿ. Papa, having got married to an educated girl, he has to say yes, right? Otherwise the family life would get ruined. So he says yes. Then I can again put a condition. ನೀವು ತರಕಾರಿ ಹೆಚ್ಚು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಾನು ಪಲ್ಯ ಒಗ್ಗರಣೆ ಹಾಕ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ. ಈಕ್ವಲ್. ಹಾಗಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು there may be a context wherein I may say, ನಾನು ಗರ್ಭಿಣಿ ಆಗ್ತೀನಿ, ನೀವು ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ. No, that doesn't happen, because that is a point where there is a fine line drawn, and that is where again the work-life balance really comes into meaning. When it comes to equality, yes, to some extent, yes, but later it is a woman. She got to understand how beautiful she is. What are the natural, natural things that are bestowed on him by nature, and she should take pride in it. She shouldn't feel bad that physically she is weak. Yes, it's a fact that physically we are weaker than men. There are few things that in turn go to create equality, and when a woman can understand this, I believe we create a work-life balance. Especially, there is a misunderstanding between the male and the female, and it's very difficult to balance the life at this point. So we got to develop certain values so that we really enjoy the balanced kind of life in our life. What are those values? Number one, men or women, when we take up additional responsibilities, let us try to understand that we need to have confidence. And this confidence is very, very essential. And the confidence comes to us only when we can prove to be leaders for our own selves. Leadership qualities of life is one best input that can really take you towards a balanced kind of attitude, aptitude. And this leadership, when I say leadership, it in turn involves all those qualities that go to make a great leader. That selflessness, that commitment, that command, those communication skills, those kind of values that places this person in the position of the other. Empathy, that is what we call. Emotional understanding. Forgiving. Having a broad mind. An ocean kind of personality that, encompasses, accumulates, keeps everything to himself. A huge patience that can forgive and forget the wrongdoings of somebody else. And this kind of personality, I believe, is known as leadership. Leadership not for others. You got to be a leader of your own. And here, we can think of various personalities who have lived and set an example for all of us. Out of many, many personalities, I look forward at Swami Vivekananda ji. Though we lost him at a very young age, even today, the entire world, especially the youngsters, keep Swami Vivekananda ji as their leader, as their role model. You know why? It's not because in those World Religious Conference at Chicago, he addressed the entire audience as brothers and sisters and told about our rich culture. No. Each and every passing phase of his life was an example that each one of us could follow. An example of work-life balance, of spiritual and physical life balance, of guru and disciple life balance, of audience and speaker life balance. I read one of his small instance which he himself has narrated in Bengali when I was in Calcutta. And this incident I would like to bring to your note what exactly is a leader and how does he revolutionize the entire world of demand by setting an example knowingly, unknowingly, intentionally, unintentionally. So here, once the Calcutta Presidency College graduate students, they go to the principal and say, "Sir, please invite Swamiji to our college. He is creating a freedom movement for India, and we would love to listen to his words of nationalism and patriotism and join his team for freedom struggle. So, principal drafts a letter to Swamiji saying that, Swamiji, my college graduates are willing to join your movement and they would like to listen to your words of motivation, and we invite you to our college. Will 1 hour time duration be sufficient for your talk? Please let us know. To this, Swami Vivekananda ji immediately responds saying, whatever is the time given to my talk doesn't matter, but please let me know what would be the time given to me for interaction